does, the effect will cease. One of the things I want to mention here is neurotransmitter deficiency symptoms, which is low serotonin. Low serotonin, you've got all of these, Paxil and Wellbutrin and, just the different types of prescription drugs that are out there for Prozac, Effexor, Celexa. These are things for low serotonin, and we get that serotonin low when we have problems with addictions, because the reason that someone becomes addicted is they like how they feel, and it has to do with the flooding of the serotonin. So when you stop and take a look at the abuse of whatever it is that substance is that you're using, when you take a look at all of that and you start working to be educated, counseled, programs, things to help you to overcome that addiction, we find that the glandular system is left exhausted, and it's not able to do what it was doing prior to the addiction. Neurotransmitters, one of the best things for the neurotransmitters of the brain is GABA, G-A-B-A. Low serotonin symptoms are, negativity, not being able to shake, being negative about everything. Depression, winter blues, excessive worrying, anxiety, low self-esteem, obsessive thoughts and behaviors, OCD. If you're an outrageous perfectionist, that's not normal. And when we see that we have people, these are symptoms where people just anymore just look at them like they are. It's just all mainstream. It's all normal. We've gotten to a point of acceptance. No, you don't need to accept that. Panic attacks, irritability, uncontrollable rage, phobias, suicidal thoughts and feelings, cravings, hard to sleep, insomnia. The things that help to bring the serotonin levels back into balance is like 5-HTP. You would take 50 to 150 milligrams of that by 10 o'clock at night. The free amino acids, 2 of those twice a day. They have all of the essential amino acids in them. And they also have tryptophan, L-tryptophan in that. 500 milligrams to 1,500 milligrams twice a day, if needed. Certainly every evening. Tryptophan helps you to sleep better. It helps you to relax. When you have enough serotonin in the body, your body will make melatonin. And melatonin, so people who can't sleep, if their body is not producing enough melatonin, they're not producing enough serotonin, which serotonin is what makes you feel emotionally stable. It's where your self-confidence comes from. Someone who has a good, sufficient amount of serotonin has a very positive outlook on life. There's emotional flexibility. Melatonin, people who if you're producing enough serotonin, you're producing enough melatonin. If you produce enough melatonin, you're going to sleep 8 hours of very restful sleep, no problem. Another thing that can be taken care of with amino acids, with L-tyrosine, is when the symptoms of depression are associated with a lack of energy. You have absolutely no drive to get anything done. You have no drive to walk out of your house. You don't want to do anything at all. You lack focus. You don't want to go anywhere, but you're completely, totally bored. I mean, that's called you're walking around in a circle of depression. Attention deficit disorder, can be low tyrosine. You tend to crave sweets and starch and chocolate, and you're craving those, NutraSweet, aspartame, the fake formaldehyde in your liver breakdown, sweeteners, neurotoxins. Remember that a neurotoxin shakes the cell to the point where it causes cell death of that, yeah. So that's excitotoxin. An excitotoxin literally kills the cell. So, you get that lack of energy, lack of any kind of drive, easily bored. What do people do? Well, let's drink 4 pots of coffee. Let's buy some over-the-counter diet pills that are, like they used to have the ephedra, and
trucker speed.
Yeah, really. Yeah, speed, cocaine. You're looking at things to make you feel better. Your body is so nutritionally depleted that you can see where it's easy to, as you start to look for something to try to make yourself feel better, before you know it, you get into, addiction is addiction. It doesn't matter if you're addicted to 5 pounds of candy a day. It doesn't matter if you're addicted to a 12-pack of, pop soda a day. It doesn't matter if you're addicted to alcohol, drugs, whatever. Addiction is addiction, and addiction comes from a lack of balance of nutrients in the body, and the fastest way to bring those into balance is the amino acids that, like I said, that super algae, the free amino acids. Tyrosine helps the most with the lack of energy, lack of drive, and people who lack focus or concentration. And tyrosine, L-tyrosine, 500 milligrams to 2,000 milligrams a day. That would be morning, mid-afternoon, and evening. What ends up developing after a week or two of taking an amino acid combination that's going to get the L-tyrosine levels up high enough is you're going to have mental alertness. You're going to have energy. You're going to have the ability to have mental focus. You're going to be enthusiastic about things. You're not going to lose your drive, and you get on the bandwagon of wanting to get something done. You won't be easily discouraged. You'll be able to carry it out and fulfill what it was that you needed to get done, what you set out to do. Another symptom of low GABA, the neurotransmitter GABA, which sends the messages, is stiff or tense muscles, stressed out, burned out, unable to relax. You can't loosen up. You feel very overwhelmed very easily, and you tend to, the substances used to help that feel better as well. The medical field writes you a prescription for Valium, where in the herb kingdom we use hops, valerian root, skullcap. But the medical field is going to write you a prescription for Valium. They're going to write you a prescription maybe for Ativan, Neurontin, Klonopin. I mean, these are all things that, hey, yeah, take them long enough and you're addicted to them. So, craving sweets, starches. So GABA, you'd want to take 100 to 500 milligrams 1 to 3 times a day, especially, and really, if you've got a day ahead and on your schedule and You know it's going to be stressful. You better not walk out the door without about 500 milligrams of GABA. You know, get a handful of them, swallow them down with some alkaline water. So you can add taurine and glycine. You know, that's the amino acids. GABA, when you have enough GABA, you're very calm, you're collected, you're able to relax, you have tolerance to stress. Yes,
Now,
good question.
you had mentioned taurine.
Taurine. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Taurine.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
I want to, if I'm not mistaken, there's taurine in Monster, in the drink, the Monster
Right,
drink.
it's an amino acid. Mm-hmm.
Okay, but
Yeah.
please don't go rushing out and buying these
No,
Monsters
because let's remember, they have a 2.5 acid pH on the chart, and you drink enough of them, and that's why you make it to the ER. You don't feel good, you got chest pains, you think you're gonna die. Yeah, well, keep it up, and you will. 3.5 pH, you're dead. So they're 2.5, so they got a rating, you know, below the death pH balance.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah, but there's taurine in that. Will, you know, it helps with energy and so that's why they go after that with the taurine. But the super algae and the free amino acids, they have all the aminos that you need, and when you get all of the essential amino acids, your body makes the non-essentials. So high enough taurine level, and they're going to be able to, get through the stress of the day. So low endorphins. Low endorphins, very, very sensitive to emotional or physical pain. It's very easy to tear up and cry. They crave comfort or rewards. They like, certain foods. They're just absolutely in love with certain foods. They usually sweets, chocolate. The prescriptions, drugs that are handed out for this is, Vicodin. Then you've got the, alcohol, caffeine, heroin. So again, amino acids, when you have enough endorphins, your psychological and physical pain relief pleasure is in balance. You have loving feelings. You don't deal with any numbness. Now, phenylalanine is an amino acid, and the only people that cannot consume any DL phenylalanine is people with children with PKU. We've all heard of PKU. When our babies are born, that is a test that's done on their heel, where they do a blood draw, poke the heel, draw a certain amount of blood from that, and that's usually retested again in 2 weeks, because it is a metabolic problem where a child with PKU is not able to metabolize the phenylalanine, and their diet is you have to be very, very careful with the child with PKU, because there are certain foods that they cannot eat, and so proteins, the end result of protein is amino acids. So a child with PKU, there are certain foods that they cannot eat because of the phenylalanine levels. So, but other than that, the majority of people don't have a problem with that. So that helps to bring that endorphin levels up. Hypoglycemia. People that crave sweets, sugar, alcohol, they're irritable, shaky. It can go on even, if it can happen if they go too long in between meals. So usually the first thing that they're grabbing for is a candy bar or eating starches, because, when you eat starch converts to sugar. And what helps to